Chapter 2 is an unwrapping of the subtitle, Save Nothing for the Next Life. We live here on the West Coast, and even though I don't go to the beach that often, it seems like it's becoming more of a family practice. My son Aaron has suddenly become a surfer. I mean, he went to school at Pepperdine and really didn't take on surfing, and I always encouraged him to go and enjoy the beach. But now that he has friends that surf, he's out there surfing. And what I hear is he's actually really good. He was telling me recently that him and his friend Matt Pagan and others were out there surfing, and all of a sudden they thought there was a shark. And this animal came out of the water within just a few feet. It was a pretty large seal. And one of them began panicking right away. And I don't know, maybe seals are violent. You know, things can look really, really friendly and be far more aggressive. I mean, I understand that in Africa that far more people are killed by hippos than they are by crocodiles, but no one's afraid of a hippo, and everyone's afraid of a crocodile. And I think it's all marketing. Hippos look cute, crocodiles look dangerous. So I don't know about seals, but the seal came up, and they also told me there were all these dolphins in the water as well, which can look like sharks. And they keep asking me to surf, and you know, I try not to be afraid of a lot of things, but there are two ways I don't want to die. One is by drowning, and the other one is by being eaten. And in the ocean, both of them can happen at the same time. And I don't understand those world-class surfers like McManus who not only have the courage to ride these immensely dangerous waves, but they know that they're basically inside of another creature's soup. There are killer whales and great whites out there that could mistake them for dinner. But they love what they do so much that it doesn't matter to them that they're risking their life. The joy and pleasure and exhilaration of what they're stepping into is more powerful than the risk and danger and imminent threat. And I wonder how many times in our life we just keep playing it safe. We want a life full of adventure, but we also live our lives to make sure that we have security and safety. I think sometimes we entirely misunderstand the meaning of the word faith. How is it possible that we equate the word faith with being safe, with being secure, with being certain? It's almost as if we think if we have enough faith in God, that all the danger is extricated from our lives. But the word faith is more connected to the word risk. The word faith is more connected to the word courage. In fact, if you're going to live a life of faith, you'd better be ready for risk. You better realize you're going to need courage. Because when you live a life of faith, you also begin to live a life of adventure. And that's the wonder of it. But what are we waiting for? We only get maybe 70, 80 years in this life. And that's really the amount of time we can live really well. What are we waiting for? What are we holding on to? And if we believe that we are eternal creatures, that we are created by God, and we're going to dwell with Him in eternity, why do we live this life with so much fear? I've had friends who asked me, when you found out you had cancer, how did that affect you? And I've tried to really be introspective and ask myself, what was I feeling? I gave myself permission to feel whatever I needed to feel. If I was going to feel afraid, I was going to be afraid. If I was going to feel angry, I was going to be angry. If I was going to feel bitterness, then I was going to just feel it. I was going to allow myself to feel whatever I needed to feel. And strangely enough, what I discovered was I didn't feel any fear at all. I certainly didn't feel bitterness or anger toward God or anyone. I didn't feel like life was unfair or unjust. I felt this overwhelming sense of the preciousness and value of life. I think one of the things we need to realize is that if we have death in front of us, we're always going to live in the shadow of death. What we all need to do is put death behind us. We need to realize that death is supposed to be behind us and life is supposed to be in front of us, not the other way around. If you're always afraid, you will never live. And so it's time for us to live our life, giving everything we have